lose all sense of reality and enter another world. Remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.
So, Damon, would you like to talk about Destiny?
Yeah.
Okay. That's easy. Then here we go. You have a whole bunch of questions about that, right? Here comes Xavier. He says Beyond.
Beyond.
To Greg and whoever else he's found to replace Colin and fill in the ever-rotating third chair. I was just wondering, what do you guys think about Destiny? Not the game itself, but do you think it lived up to the hype? Do you think it is going to be played and talked about for a while, or is it going to be a bit more like Titanfall and fade away from the spotlight after the initial first few weeks? Thank you, and keep up the good work, Xavier.
Thanks, Professor.
That
was a theme song.
Yeah, that was.
Jeez.
They don't make them like that anymore.
No, they don't.
I'm still really having fun with Destiny. I think and like last night when I was streaming it, it was great. Like, here's my thing about Destiny: when people knock it, they're like, "Oh, the story sucks and there's no real characters." I'm like, "Yep, all that's true."
Yep.
But I have fun playing it. Like, I enjoy playing it, especially because you're supposed to play it with people. And so when I'm playing with people and talking to them and having a conversation, it's just like, "Oh, that's cool." I'm blowing these people. Where do you work? And like last night, we beat the game. Yeah. I was like, "Oh, that was the last mission." There was no build up to that. I didn't know that was going to happen. My bad, my bird. But yeah, I don't know. The hype has been interesting. Day one, everybody's like, ah! And then now it's been really negative as we go.
To answer the first part of his question, no, I don't think it did live up to the hype. I think that's pretty much across the board.
Yeah.
The reviews on Metacritic are like 70, mid-70s.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it is.
Yeah.
For me, I was disappointed. I was just they just seemed like what they were going for was a lot more ambitious.
Sure.
I guess I thought it'd be more like an open world MMO Mass Effect, where you're like, I can get in my ship, I can go to this other planet. Yeah. I'm like, following the story. There's this big, like, epic story that you're following. There's other players in the world that we can interact with, but actually the game's really like, you take all that, it's just like,
yep.
It's just like, go on generic missions over and over again with your friends, and then go back to the tower where there's nothing to do, no one to have conversations with, get your better gear, go back out and do it again. Do that over and over again. Like, that's kind of like, I was just like, when they first unveiled Destiny, it sounded so huge and ambitious, and it's not that, at least not yet.
Yeah. It's not a bad game. I'm enjoying my time with it, but I think the thing I'm disappointed by is the fact that it feels like what we played in the alpha and the beta.
Sure.
The entire game is just sort of that. It wasn't like that the beta is like, here's the small taste of what you're going to be doing. It was sort of like, this is what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And repeat. And if you're fine with that, then cool. But if not, sorry. So I think this game is also going to be supported for a very long time, obviously. The Glass Raid came out today, and that stuff, we got to see a little bit of it back in July, and it looked insane, like some real, like, next level stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that, and I'm hoping this is sort of like the first Assassin's Creed game, where it's laying the groundwork. Like, first AC's really flawed game, but laid the groundwork for what came afterwards, which AC2 was incredible. So I'm hoping that whatever Destiny 2 or whatever updates this game gets sort of does that. Yeah, I agree. It's like Titanfall, where it's
I don't know.
All of our faults for overhyping it.
Oh, yeah. I see. My thing is, I don't think it's going to fade away like Titanfall did.
Okay.
I think it's going to have more of a lasting. I think people right now who got it and are like, this isn't that great, will come back when more stuff comes in. Because it strikes me as it's running with the normal MMO thing, where, like, DC, right? Like, I know it's my only MMO experience, so that's why my references are. This is not a joke. DC starts and a whole bunch of stuff's broken. There's not that much stuff to do once you hit level cap. You're like, well, whatever. And now you play that game and there's an overwhelming amount of stuff to do because they kept adding to it. And so they've put out the little thing of scheduling content. If they can stick to that, hey.
Yeah. That's what Titanfall didn't do, right?
Right.
There just wasn't enough content in that game, and people got bored with it really fast. Yeah. So if they can keep content coming on a regular basis, then I could see people continue playing.
Yeah. I think it was Brad at Giant Bomb tweeted the other day, like, and he basically summed up my thoughts of, like, I get why people are down on it, but it's still the only game I want to play right now. Like, I come home and I'm like, yeah, it's not crazy ass Mass Effect, but it's like, well, it's still fun to play, and I do want to get the gear, and I do want to go back to the tower and see if I finish that bounty and do this, do that. And now I'm to the point of, like, man, what am I going to do with the, I'm just about to be 20. Am I going to be able to do the raids with people? Am I going to have to grind out here? With the stuff?
It's interesting. It's the third new IP of the year.
Yeah.
That's a big AAA game. Titanfall, Watch Dogs, and Destiny. And all three people kind of felt disappointed by.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Wolfenstein, not trying to reinvent the wheel, just trying to be like a solid like shooter. Yeah. Everyone's like, this game is awesome.
Yeah, and we went in with super low expectations of Wolfenstein.
We're like,
see, I think
it didn't preview really well. Yeah.
I think that's the big thing about it, and like where you come at Destiny and all these other games, right? Is that for me, from the get-go with Destiny and Watch Dogs, I saw those games and I was like, they don't look that great to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it wasn't until we came back from E3 this year and I got into the beta or the alpha or whatever it was and played it, I was like, oh, man, this is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I got to see the systems and how it all works. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then by the time I got it, I was like, this is exactly what I want right now, kind of a mindless shooter, run through, get better gear and stuff like that. But then people who were expecting a Mass Effect kind of experience, they seem to be like, eh.
Yeah. I mean, it's the nature of the industry that I'm sort of bummed out, though, that we can't live in like a bubble where all of a sudden we just get home and we're like, oh, here's this new video game by the guys who made Halo.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, this is cool. Yeah. But instead, we have to hype it up for 2 years.
Well.
Users lose all sense of reality and enter another world. Remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.